on your knees, down on your knees. You better believe. Hell to the king, hell to the king. That'll be me, that'll be me. Get on your knees, down on your knees. You better believe. Hell to the king, hell to the boy. That'll be me.
Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
Oh, hello there, friend. It's nice to see you again, or for the first time. But if you're here again, that must mean that my last video got 10 likes, and you know what that means? It's time for part 2 of the twofer. So, why don't we get into the video and part 2 of my recommendation list? Excuse me. The first anime I will be talking about is Re:Zero. Now, all the animes I'm about to talk to you about are still ongoing or are about to end with their final seasons. And Re:Zero Season 2 airs July 2020. So if you watch this video and then you watch Season 1, you'll be right on time to get right into the second season. Now, Re:Zero is a show I can't talk a lot about, because if I do, I'll be giving out spoilers. And you know, I don't like spoilers because then it just kills the whole point of watching the show. So, watch the show. But what I can talk to you about is this love triangle between the main characters. You got Subaru, and then you got this other girl whose name I will not mention yet. And then you got this other girl who I will not mention yet. Or at all. I'm not mentioning their names. But this girl likes Subaru. And Subaru likes this girl. And this girl kind of wants to be with Subaru, but she don't know. But she like his vibe, you know. Big vibes around here 2020. So it's kind of weird because this girl down here is so good for Subaru. Like, she would die for this man. Die for this man. And he's just like, I'm sorry, you know. I still want her. And she's like, it's okay. I'll still die for you. Like, she bugging. Because I'm not dying for nobody that wouldn't die for me. But, you know, I really like the show because every episode is something new. And then it's like you can get lost in what actually happened in the show. And it's like, did it? Or, like, did it? Let me rewind. And then you just end up wanting to watch it again. So, that's Re:Zero. I really like the show. I recommended it to a few people, and I'm recommending it to you few people. So, you know, next show. The next show I will be talking about is Haikyuu. Now, Haikyuu is a volleyball show. Now, wait. Before you say anything, just hear me out. I know volleyball isn't like S tier, like, oh, let's go to a volleyball game. But this show is lovely. Like, I think in the 4 seasons that have happened, I watched them in like 2 days. Now, mind you, we're on quarantine and I have nothing else better to do. But that is not the point here. The point is that it's a good show. The main character, what's his name? Hinata Shoyo. Not Hinata from Naruto. Hinata Shoyo. He is a little orange-haired kid, about 5'4". And, you know, in volleyball, typically you want to be very tall. But Hinata has some abilities that let him stand out from the pack when he enters high school. And him, along with his teammates, are able to find something so unique throughout their like district and throughout all of Japan that makes them a top team. Now they go through a lot to become an even better team, and where we are now in the show is they're at a point where they cannot lose or they will go home. And it's just interesting to see because Hinata and another freshman, Kageyama, are freshmen. And so if the show continues for a long time, you'll get to see them later in high school and how they develop, even though they're so good right now. But it's just nice to see them come so far in their freshman season. I don't know if it's plot, like if it's just because the plot that they made it so far, or if it's just because their team's so good. I don't know. Watch the show and you tell me yourself. Alright. The third show I will be talking about is Reincarnated as a Slime. Oh, I should have said this before, but all the shows I'm going to talk about you can find on Crunchyroll, and that's where I usually watch them. If you need a Crunchyroll account, don't ask me. So, the third show, Reincarnated as a Slime, the first scene comes in quick, like that. So, I think I could talk about this, because it really doesn't mean much. The main character, Rimuru, he walking down the street with his like apprentice, and his apprentice's girl. He wants to get the blessing of his his big homie.
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
So he's like, yeah, how about we take you out to lunch? You can get to meet her. We could all get to meet each other. So out of nowhere, Rimuru gets stabbed on the street. And mind you, this is like modern day Japan. So it's like weird because he was just running and got stabbed. People get stabbed all the time. But like he didn't do nothing. He was just walking down the street. Y'all know that TikTok song. But after he gets reincarnated, like the title says, he gets reincarnated as a slime. And he acquires so many abilities. And he's OP. Like, we all know that... Who's an OP? Saitama from One Punch Man. That dude is like... You box him, one punch. Like, Rimuru, like, there's nobody messing with my guy. So, it's like... I don't know what to call it. Like, it's like a, Excuse me. There is a lot of fighting in the show. And it's not like a hardcore macho fight show, but it is mad cool, and I really do enjoy it because Rimuru being reincarnated in another land finds so many different friends and opportunities, and because he is so strong, he makes a lot of lives better. And I don't know what else to say. It's a really good show. Next on the list, we have Attack on Titan. Now, Attack on Titan's final season, Season 4, comes out in fall 2020, so in a few months. And the show is great. It was recommended to me by the homie Andrew. Shout out to him. I don't want to, the title basically speaks for itself, Attack on Titan. And there's a lot I could tell you, and I don't want to spoil anything because there's a lot of things that are like, oh, snap, y'all see that? And it's like, wow, I never thought the show would take this turn. I don't want to call them plot twists because they're not really. Like, but it's just like you never would expect to see that happen. Because you expect something and then like the opposite happened. But the main character, Eren Yeager, basically just wants to be part of this group where they go out of their wall. If you ever seen Maze Runner, how they got the walls. They have like 3 of those back to back, so the Titans can't come in. And the group that Eren wants to be a part of goes out and kills the Titans to basically find another land because they are trapped in the wall surrounded by Titans. And throughout the show, you see Eren become part of the team. I'll just tell you that right now. He becomes part of the team, and he becomes a very valuable asset just coming out of training camp. And he is accompanied by Mikasa, not like my house, but Mikasa. It's like his stepsister. But you know, Eren's kind of he's kind of a punk. And Mikasa's like, she ruthless. Like, she ain't got no care in the world. If you get in her way, she's slicing and dicing you. Like, she'll do anything to back Eren up. Like, it's all love between them. And she really wanted a realist character. You know, no, I'm not even gonna say she's the realest character in the show. Cause you know, because she's like so stuck to Eren, it's kinda like, you know, Mikasa, we get it. Like, he did a lot for you, but you know, you might have to branch out a little bit, you know. But you know, go watch for yourself. Now, another show dealing with walls. Next show, The Promised Neverland. Now, this show only has about 12 episodes in the first season that they show us. But, you know, a lot of these shows got real strong first episodes. And I like that. In the first episode of The Promised Neverland, somebody dies. I'm not going to tell you how. I'm not going to tell you who. Somebody dies. And it's just like, wow. The way the society is based, like the way that they put it together is just like, oh, they gotta escape. Now, the three main characters are Emma, Norman, and Ray. They're all 11, about to turn 12. And the way they conduct themselves as children is just crazy, because it's like 11. When we was 11, you know, we was in middle school, you know. Wait, were we in middle school when we were 11? I'm pretty sure we were 11 in middle school. And it's just like, I don't know if we'd be able to do what they did at that age. But out of those three, they are not my favorite character. You know, nobody cares who my favorite character is, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My favorite character is Phil. He's this really short kid. He's like 6, and he is adorable. But the intellect of Phil is just so strong, and what he figures out, and what he figures. Hey yo, what the fuck? What Phil figures out is just like something crazy. Like, for his age, you would think that like Phil's like a super brain, like Jimmy Neutron had that, boy. But yeah. I ain't gonna tell you, you know, because I said it's like a wall, like they're surrounded by a wall. I'm not gonna tell you if they get out or not, but you know, the manga's still going, so I didn't read it yet, because I wanna watch the next season, which comes out in October 2020, and I just want to see how the kids do, whether they got over the wall or not. And I just like the show really got me. You know, a lot of people don't like it. They're like, oh, little kids, you know, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, it takes a lot of intellect to watch that show. And I know y'all got that. Yeah, big brain. Woo! I've been talking for a while, so hopefully you're still here. You haven't been clicking, like, what show he's saying? Like, don't do that. The final show that I want to recommend to you, that I originally wasn't going to recommend, because, you know, in anime, there's this thing called the Big Three. It's like the biggest 3 shows that were going on during the 2000s. It was Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. Now, somebody might be saying, what? What about Dragon Ball Z? Nah, Dragon Ball Z is like the grandfather of those shows. But since new stuff has been coming out, and those shows are basically all done besides One Piece, which is mad long, people have started to make like this new Big Three that nobody really cares about, because you can't just make a new Big Three. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of Big Threes in the NBA. You know, Wade, Bron, Bosh, Curry, KD, Thompson. Those big threes can be interchangeable because there's so many teams. And there are a lot of animes, but this big three, they can't do that. And the show I'm about to say, they try and put in the new big three. And I could rock with it, but there's only one big three. And that show is My Hero Academia. Now, if you've been watching anime for a while, you probably know of it. And season 5 comes out maybe in 2021. The last season just ended with a banger. And in this show, there's like a society of superheroes. And our main character, Deku, doesn't have any powers. What are you, you're in a society of all superheroes, like the Incredibles, and you just happen to be the one person without powers. He's as corny as Syndrome.
When all hope is lost, Syndrome will save the day! I'll be a bigger hero than you ever were.
But somehow, some way, Deku has the potential to be the number one hero. And with no powers, he still gets into a really good school to develop his powers. And he also has classmates who also have potential of being the number one hero, such as Todoroki or Bakugo. And throughout the show, they fight a lot. There's a lot of bromances in anime. Naruto and Sasuke, Vegeta and Goku. Deku and Bakugo is a really good bromance. They like this, even though Bakugo's a bully. But, who doesn't get bullied? Anyway, Deku has so much potential. And you see that grow throughout the show when he learns to develop his abilities. And by the end of the show, the number one hero switches. It's like the Billboard charts. I'm just trying to make everything relatable to y'all. The Billboard charts, people get switched out all the time when a new hit comes out. And the number one hero, he down bad. So somebody has to rise up and be the new spark. And by the end of the show, you see who that is, and you see how Deku and his classmates come about after becoming heroes of their own, and just how they're eventually gonna start being heroes by themselves without being associated with the school. And in this show, there are a lot of tough villains. The villains in this show are nuts. And I think in the next season, there's a new villain who people haven't seen as one of the main ones. And I don't know. I don't actually know what happens because I don't read the manga. So hopefully, if you watch this video, we can figure that out together. Now, I'm going on about 18, 19 minutes now, and I know I've ranted a long time. But I really appreciate everybody that watches this video. And I hope it was very informational to you, because I'm like your anime tour guide. We had Disney World, just, here's that, here's this. So hopefully this video wasn't too long and you could get a lot of information out of it, and hopefully you like the animes. I would really appreciate it if you guys, like the video and subscribe, because I know I have a lot of people that watch my videos but that aren't subscribed, and that's all love. But I want them subscriber rates to go up. But hopefully after you see this video, you find another anime that you like and you can get more into anime, because that's all I really wanted in the first place. So hopefully you like this video, and stay safe during quarantine.